StraighTAllDay.com.
You're now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative, which is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques, all underneath the umbrella of one unifying philosophy that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is how to make your marketing work the right way. But before we get started, let me remind everybody, I send out a daily motivation text message free of charge every single morning to everybody in my text community. There's a message guaranteed to have you focused, sharp, and on point to get started in your day. Since you want to get this message, all you got to do is text me right now on my number, which is 305-384-6894. And every day, starting tomorrow, when that message goes out, you'll be receiving it. Secondly, Work on Your Game University. That is the place where I do all my coaching. That's the place where you get access to all my courses and all my best trainings on mindset, strategy, systems, execution for your personal life and for your professional life. The way you get into the university is by going to workonyourgameuniversity.com. The links to both my daily motivation text number and the university are down below in the description to this audio or video, wherever you are consuming this. That said, let's get into the topic, which is how to make your marketing work the right way. Now, you've heard me talk about marketing in many episodes of this show, simply because marketing is such an integral part of what you're going to be doing as a business person, no matter what kind of business you're doing. Whether you are trying to get hired for a job, you already have a job right now, whether you are an entrepreneur running a business, or you are a solopreneur or entrepreneur, you're wherever you are, anywhere in between of all of those things, you have to market yourself, because marketing is the only way anybody's going to know that you exist and know that whatever it is that you're offering is the thing that they need or could possibly want. Now, just yesterday, we talked about how sales and marketing work together. Today, we're going to talk about how to make that marketing really work for you. In episode 2503, we talked about how to expand your marketing efforts. In episode 1897, I told you why marketing is a lifetime job. Episode 1835, the 3 marketing traffic strategies and how to use each one. And also talked about marketing in so many more episodes of the show that I'm not even going to list them all. I told you that you are a marketer. I told you how to be a bold marketer, episode 2315, and you are a marketer in episode 1515. So as you can see, we talked about marketing a lot here, and if you really want to get deep on marketing and some training and coaching on how to really market yourself and your stuff, what you need to do is become a member of Work on Your Game University by going to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Link is down below in the description. With that said, let's get into the topic, which is how to make your marketing work the right way. Point number 1, the right message to the right audience. The right message to the right audience. You see, if you have the right message, but you're giving it to the wrong person, then it'll fall on deaf ears. And if you're talking to the right audience, but you don't give them the right message, they see you, but they're not really hearing you, or they hear you, but they're not listening to you, because whatever you're saying is not quite hitting them where they need to be hit. So the right message to the right audience means hitting people where they are. Understand that all marketing is the relationship between you and your audience, or between you and the people who could potentially be part of your audience, or could potentially give you money, i.e. your customers and clients. So you need to give them the message that they need to hear at the time and place at which they need to hear it. The short phrase for this is message to market match. That's if you ever heard that phrase, or you ever hear anybody use that phrase, or if you use that phrase moving forward, that's what all of this is encompassed as. Your message and your market need to match. You got to give the right message to the right people at the right time. So that's part of it too. The timing matters as well. So you don't want to give a message, for example, about Christianity to a group of atheists, because they don't want to hear it. That's the wrong message. Might be the right people, but it's the wrong message. You want to give a message about your bison meat or your favorite steak burgers to a group of vegan animal rights activists. All right, there's a wrong message, wrong people. The ideal message is going only to the people who absolutely need to hear it at that time and place, and it's exactly what they're looking for. Or maybe it's not what they were looking for, but now that they hear it, they're like, damn, you know what, I absolutely do need that. I didn't even know that I needed it, but I needed it. So many of us, actually all of us as customers, on the customer side of things, we've all been in situations where we didn't even know that we needed something, but then we heard somebody talking about it. We said, damn, you know what? Now that I wasn't thinking about that thing, but now that this person has said it and they said it that way, now I'm thinking about it. You know what? I do actually need that. And you know what? I'm actually going to buy it. So you ended up buying something when you weren't even expecting to buy. Now, how many of you have ever walked into a store just expecting to look around, or maybe you weren't even looking around. You were there maybe with somebody else. They wanted to look around. You ended up looking around on your own, and then you ended up buying something that you weren't even expecting to buy. Or you haven't been browsing on the internet and ended up buying something you were not expecting to buy. Or you went to an event, you ended up buying something that you did not plan on buying. Why? Because someone gave you a message that when you heard the message, you said, wow, you know what? I didn't think of that. I was not considering that. I wasn't even looking for it. But now that I know about it, I actually do want that, and you ended up buying. So this is what happens when a good marketing message finds the right person. So sometimes the market, that's the person who ends up buying, knows that they have a problem and they are looking to solve it. But other times a person they're not looking to solve the problem. They may know that they have it, but they're not looking around for a solution to it, because maybe it's not a specific enough or acute enough need yet. Maybe there's not enough pain in the situation for them to need to do anything about it yet, but the right message can move them to that. This is why you'll see in a lot of marketing messages, people will use they'll pinprick some type of pain. They'll let you know how bad the situation is, or make it sound even worse than it is, than what you have seen it as, just to move you to action. Because a good amount of pain, a significant amount of pain, will move somebody to do something about a situation. If you think of, for example, you have a bad toothache. If you have a mild toothache, you might not go to the dentist. But when the toothache becomes so bad that you can barely concentrate, you can't sleep, then you'll go to the dentist. Right? You had the toothache before. You knew you had the toothache before. You knew it was something wrong, because your teeth don't just start aching for no reason. But when the toothache got so bad that you couldn't ignore it, then you went and did something about it. So what a good marketer does is they kind of make that toothache so bad that you can't ignore it in a metaphorical sense. That's what a good marketing message does. And any of you, if you have read anything or know anything about the copywriting world, which is, copy is simply the verbiage that you use to try to persuade or influence someone to action, the better you get at copywriting, the more you'll be able to make someone feel the acute pain of a situation that maybe they've been trying to ignore. That's your job as a marketer. And good marketers are very good at doing this, making you feel the pain of not doing what they want you to do, so that you go do it, so you can alleviate that pain. And they can just create this out of thin air. A great marketer can create this kind of pain out of thin air. So just something for you to think about, any of you ever want to learn anything about copy or writing. So the more of your message that goes out to people who don't need it or don't want it, then that means you're sending your message landing on deaf ears. You're sending resources out to people who simply are not interested. So you don't want to do too much of this. You don't want to use too much of your resources on this, because you'll use up all of your time, all your money, and all your energy, and not achieve a positive outcome, because you'll use a lot of time reaching people who don't want to hear it, using money, if you're using paid marketing, to reach people who are not interested, and energy to do these things, and you're not getting the outcome that you want. So remember that we're always looking at ROI, which is return on investment, in anything we're doing in business, period, because we only have a certain amount of resources here in this life, and you want to make sure you're using them and getting your return on them, so that you're getting more back than you're putting out. So you're not just breaking even or losing, or in the red, as we say, when you're losing, but you want to be in the black. That's when you're getting more than you're putting out. Point number 2. Today's topic, once again, is how to make your marketing work for you. Number 2, repetition and consistency. Catching people when they're ready to move, which is not the same as when you're ready to move, or when you're ready for them to move. Might not always be the same time. So for example, somebody may be the perfect person for your audience, but they're not ready to take action on your message today when they hear about it. So they might be the perfect person to sign up for your course on knitting sweaters at home for your grandkids, but right now they're not ready to sign up for your course because they have other things going on, or maybe they don't have the money right now, or maybe they just were not paying attention when your message flashed across the screen, or they scrolled right past it on social media, even though they need it. So you got to catch them when they're ready to move, which again might not be when you want them to move. So 6 months from now, that person might be perfectly ready. All right, so your job is to make sure that you're in front of them in 6 months when they become ready. So if you only market to people one time, You send your message out one time and don't get the response that you were expecting, or you don't get a response from certain people, and then you never reach back out to them again, you never send that message out to them again, then you might miss them when they're ready. All right, they might be hot and ready at one moment, but they weren't hot and ready when you reached out. So any of you who's ever eaten Krispy Kreme donuts, so you're familiar with them, you know Krispy Kreme has I think it's called hot and ready. They got the sign out in the window. When you drive past the Krispy Kreme, it says hot and ready. I don't know what the schedule is for that sign, but I do know they have that sign. That sign flashes when new donuts have just been made, right? And I think last time I checked, Krispy Kreme only makes one kind of donut, right? Just the glazed donut. I think. I don't know. I'm no donut connoisseur. I like donuts, but I don't eat donuts that often. But Krispy Kreme flashes that sign to let you know, hey, we're ready. We got new donuts that just came out. And some people like the donuts when they're warm, fresh out the oven. Now, even though I'm not a donut connoisseur, when I eat donuts, I don't like them hot. I don't like hot donuts. I don't like hot sugar. I don't like when sugary products are warm. I'd rather them be cold than warm. But that's just me. The whole point is you got to catch people when they're hot and ready, like that Krispy Kreme sign. And also, this is where the discipline comes in, and this is why you got to be strategic about what you're doing. And it will help if you had some people around you who know what they're doing, so that you don't misconstrue a lack of response for a missed target. Because you could have the right message and the right market when you send your marketing material out there, but you just call people at the wrong time. So they're the right people and is the right message, you just call them at the wrong time. So you don't get the kind of response you're expecting. So you're like, damn, all right, must be something wrong with my message or something wrong with the people I'm talking to. Let me go make a whole new message and find a whole new group of people that's wrong. You might not need to do anything, but just continue to market to those same people for the next 3 months. And then 3 months from now, a bunch of them are ready to do something and they all go do something. Only thing that was off for you was the timing. There was nothing wrong with the market or anything wrong with the message. Now, there's 3 different variables I just gave you. What's the message you're giving them? What is the market? Who are you talking to? And what's the timing? All of those things. And also, we didn't even get to what exactly are you offering them to do. So that's another variable. You got to get all of these right at the same time in order to make a sale. Everybody understand what I'm saying? If you have the right market, the right message, the right timing, but the offer is off, you won't make a sale. You have the right offer, the right timing, the right message, but you're giving it to the wrong people, no sale. So you could get just one of these wrong. You could be 75% right and still not make a sale simply because you got one of these off. This is why it makes sense to have experts around you, people around you who can help you decipher what's not working if and when things are not working. And when things do work, you want to know why they worked, right? Because you don't want to be guessing. You don't want to be thinking that something happened for this reason, and then you go all in on making more of that reason happen, and you only to find out that that wasn't really the reason why it worked in the first place. So you don't want to be guessing here. You don't want this to be a guessing game. You want to be strategic about it so that you can be consistent and disciplined in your process. Only way you can do that is you have to be able to decipher why what happened actually happened, so you're not guessing. Everybody follow what I'm saying here? Now, in Work on Your Game University, the reason why I have coaching programs is so that I can coach you on these things and I can know exactly what you personally are doing in your business so that we can know these factors specifically for your situation, not me just generically saying, well, know this, know this, know this, but we can look at exactly at what you're doing and get help with this. So any of you who's in the marketing space, if you ever run into this problem, or maybe you didn't even realize that you had this problem and now you're realizing, you know what, that does make sense. I do need to know that. Then you need to get in touch with me by going to workonyourgameuniversity.com, schedule a call with us, and we'll talk about how we can help you with that. So somebody may have a problem right now, right timing, but they're not ready or prepared to do anything about it. Maybe they just don't have the resources right now. Maybe they don't have the time right now. Maybe they don't have the attention to give to you right now. The kids are in summertime, so they got to pay attention to the kids. They don't have time to jump into your thing. So your job is to stay available, so when they are ready, you can help them. That means you got to stay in front of people. Understand? If I send you a marketing message and it's perfect for you, but you're just not ready to do anything right now, but you will be ready in 6 months, I should not disappear for 6 months and then pop up 6 months to the day and say, hey, here's my marketing message again, because you might have a whole bunch of other things on your mind at that point. And if I let 6 months go by, well, I got to warm up the relationship again after 6 months. You might not be ready to just jump in after 6 months because you haven't heard from me since then. So I got to stay in touch with you. This is why marketing is a continuous thing, and marketing is a process. It's not just a transaction. It's a process, and this is why you got to stay in front of people, all right, even if they're not doing what you want them to do just yet. Because again, not everybody is ready to move when you want them to move. Ideally, every customer you have would just buy from you immediately the first time they heard about or saw what you were offering, or they would say, hey, I'm never going to buy from you the first time they see it. But we know life doesn't work that way. Even thinking of yourself, all right? We don't behave this way. We usually take action when we are strongly compelled to take an action, whether that means a circumstance forced action upon us or we force it upon ourselves, but that is not every single time. How many of you in the last week have looked at something and know you want to buy it or invest in it or spend money on it, but you didn't do it when you first saw it? You didn't do it. You thought about it. Maybe you wrote it down. Maybe you made a note. Maybe you put a reminder in your calendar. Maybe you just bookmarked it or bookmarked the URL of the page or wherever you're going to go do the thing, but you did not do it when you saw it. Right? That happens with us all the time. Human beings do this. So you got to catch people when they're ready to move. Again, it's not always when you are ready to move. Now, there are things you can do, such as creating urgency that will move people to action before they are quote unquote ready. But you have to do something. All right, it doesn't just randomly. People don't just do stuff immediately, even if they know they need to do it, because human beings are by nature, we conserve energy. We're lazy. Number 3. Today's topic, once again, is how to make your marketing work for you. Number 3, focus on attracting your ideal people. In order to do this, you need to know who your ideal people are. So here's the question: who are they? Who are your ideal people? And when I say your ideal people, I'm talking about the ideal person who you would want to sell your products or service to. Who's your ideal person? You should take some time to really figure this out. In the marketing world, this person is called the avatar. Not like the movie Avatar, but avatar. And you can have more than one avatar, but I would suggest you start with just one and only focus on expansion once you have mastered your marketing to that one individual. So, for example, back when I was selling basketball training programs, which I still sell to this day, there's an avatar for the player who I would sell those programs to. When it comes to coaching, Work On Your Game University, there's an avatar for that. They're two completely different people. When it comes to me doing speaking gigs, there's an avatar for that. So there are different avatars based on what it is I'm offering and who I believe it is best suited for. So again, focus on one avatar at a time and mastering one thing, one offering to one market with one message. Not one message, you can have multiple messages, but one offer to one market before you move on and have 20 different offers to 20 different markets. Your ideal person is in both their demographics, which is like things you can measure and count: age, height, weight, are they black or white, do they have kids, do they own their home? Those are demographics. Those are all things that you could find out and you can measure and you can count. All right, that's demographics. Psychographics is the other part that you need. And psychographics is just how it sounds. It's the mindset and the emotional state of the person you're talking to. So psychographics is, what is this person interested in? What do they care about? What causes do they support? Do they lean more liberal? Do they lean more conservative? What is their mindset? What is their emotional state right now? So this can change because people's emotional state is usually not the same from day to day. Somebody could be happy at 5 o'clock today, but tomorrow at 5 o'clock they're frustrated for whatever reason. So demographics and psychographics, all of this stuff matters. And the better you can dial in to the demographics and psychographics of your ideal person, your avatar, the better your message will match exactly who they are, where they are, and what they're looking for. So the better you understand this, the better you can speak their language. Your message should speak directly to who they are and where they are, and that can move them to action. So again, keep in mind the action that you need to take may not necessarily be going and buying any or all of your stuff. The action that they need to take might just be, come listen to my show. Because listening to your show will take them deeper into your world, because now they'll get to see, oh, this person is actually better than I thought. They'll go deeper into your world on their own volition. Maybe their next step is subscribing to you on YouTube, or their next step is following you on social media, or subscribing to your email list. Some people need more warming up before they will be ready to take an action or make a stronger commitment. And again, it depends on when you catch a person. Where are they emotionally and mentally at that time? So someone might be emotionally and mentally ready to do something like right now today if your message catches them today. But if you catch them tomorrow, they're not ready to do anything, and it might be 3 weeks before they're ready to do something again, because it just happens to be their emotional or mental state at that time. So this is it's like a game. It's a big game that you're playing here, and you gotta make sure you're hitting all the numbers at the same time in order to get those jackpots. And the bigger the commitment, if we're talking sales, the bigger the financial commitment you're asking of people, the more important it is that you nail all of these at the same time. So and again, you can manufacture these as well, by the way. So this is not some random lottery here that I'm talking about, even though I said hitting the jackpot. You can manufacture making sure the message is right, that you're talking to the right market. You can manufacture the timing. You can manufacture making sure the offer is right. There are ways to manufacture this and basically set it up so that it works in your favor regardless of what you do. That's the deeper game that we're not going to get into here in this episode, but we do get into inside of Work on Your Game University. But you got to have the material here. Here's the point. You got to have the material to continue serving people while they are incubating, so to speak. So while they're getting warmed up to you, you got to have the material to keep serving them so that they don't forget that you exist. Because not everybody, again, is ready to make a big commitment the first time they see your stuff. Some people will be, but not everybody will be. And you're not going to build your whole career just on the people who are. And again, the bigger the financial commitment, the more time, generally speaking, people need to warm up. Again, that doesn't mean everybody's going to need a ton of time to warm up, but generally, the bigger the commitment, the more time people need to warm up. Ideally, they already warmed up before they came across you. So now they're already warmed up. All you got to do is close them. Moving on to point number 4. Today's topic, once again, is how to make your marketing work for you. Multiple mediums. Medium is just the vessel through which you're getting your message out. You want to have multiple mediums. So some of you like listen to audio where you don't have to look at anything. You can consume it while you're doing other things. Like some of you are listening to this right now. You're driving in your car, or you're working out, or you're doing dishes. Some of you, or you're getting ready for the day in the morning. You're just listening to me, but you don't need to commit your visual resources to taking in this message. Some of you like to watch videos on YouTube. Some of you watch these episodes through YouTube videos where you can actually see me and listen to me at the same time. Some of you like to scroll through Instagram or Facebook where you are both listening and looking at, listening to and looking at whatever it is you're scrolling through. Some of you like to read books, or you like to read the captions on photos. So for those of you who are not in the book reading, but you'll read something short. Your job as a marketer, all right, now I was just talking about you as a consumer, but as a marketer, when you get on the other side of the table, your job is to make sure you're reaching your ideal audience members via the medium that they are most apt to consuming through. So if your target audience, your avatar, wherever they like to consume material, you probably want to be in that place. Now, granted, your target audience may be in multiple mediums, or it could be one medium in which the majority of your ideal people are concentrated. So it's your job to find out what this is and make sure that you are aware and that you can be found and discovered. So if you look at my work, for example, you'll notice that I use all 3 mediums. Mediums are just the formats. So audio is a medium, video, and written. Those are all mediums. Now there are different apps for each one. There are multiple apps for each one, but the medium, audio, video, written is what I'm talking about. Now that does not mean you need to do this. All right, if you're not into audio or not in the video or not in the writing, you don't have to do them. And especially if your ideal audience is not there either, then you don't need to be there. But that's TBD, to be determined. We don't know if that's true or not. So you need to know which mediums you're best at. Where are you best? That's the first thing you got to know. And some people are really good at writing, but they're not great on camera. Some people are great on audio, but they, for whatever reason, they don't want to be physically seen. Some people just do videos and they hardly write anything. It is your job to figure out not only what you are best at, but also what your audience wants and what your audience will respond to. Understand you may need to add new skills to your bag, as they say, to make sure you're reaching your market where they are. So if you like doing audio, but you find out that your ideal audience, your ideal clients, many of them like watching videos, then you might need to figure out a way to get on video, even if you hate being on video. Why? Because your ideal clients are on video. And let's remember where we are, folks, results-based business. So if getting on video is going to get you more of the result, then you need to get on video, even though you don't like getting on video, because this is not a what you like or what you feel based business. It is a result based business. That's it. Let's recap today's class, which is how to make your marketing work the right way. Number one, the right message to the right audience. In other words, you need to meet people where they are when they are there, which can change. Number two, repetition and consistency. This means catching people when they are ready to move, which is not the same as when you are ready to move. So someone may be the perfect person for your audience, but they're simply not ready to take action just yet. There's 4 numbers in this combination lot you got to hit. You got to have the right offer, the right market, the right message, and the right timing amongst all of those things to make your message really hit the way you want it to and get people to respond the way you want them to. Number 3, focus on attracting your ideal people. In order for you to do this, you got to know who your ideal person is. This person is also known as the avatar. You need to sit down and really think about the demographics and the psychographics of your ideal person. What are the things you can measure? All the stuff you can measure, you need to figure that out. Then the things that you cannot measure, you need to think about what those are too. And the better you understand this, the better your message will reach the people who it's supposed to reach. You want to get really, really good at this, then what you can do is start talking to the people who are already your ideals, if you already have any, and just ask them questions so you can find out more about their thought process. That'll tell you exactly how your ideal people are thinking. The more of those conversations you have, the better you'll know exactly what the commonalities or the through lines are between what you're offering and what caught those ideal people's attention. Because the better you know that, then you can do more of the same thing. And number 4, multiple mediums. Mediums is the vessel through which you get your material out there. Some of you like audio, but don't want to look at anything. Some of you like writing, not interested in audio. Some of you like video and not interested in writing anything. And you want to make sure you get seen every time you do anything. You want people to actually look at you. So you got to figure out what your mediums will be. This is based on your skill set, your preferences, and the preferences and habits of your audience. These are all things you need to be paying attention to. So it's your job to find out where is the place where a majority of people are concentrated. It is your job to find out where this is. Make sure that you are where you can be found and discovered. Make sure you are somewhere where you can be found and discovered. So you'll notice that I use all 3 mediums: audio, video, written. Doesn't mean you need to do that, but you do need to figure out what is your best place and does it match what your audience wants. And it also may mean you need to add a skill so you can get on a medium that your ideal audience seems to be gravitating towards, because remember, we're in a results-based business. So if that's what gets the results, then you gotta do what you gotta do. All that said, text me, let me know the best insight you got from today's class. My number is 305-384-6894 and workonyourgameuniversity.com. I will coach you on how to start applying these things, how to build up your avatar, how to know exactly what it is that you're offering and to whom, and to make sure you're getting your marketing message out there consistently enough so that people who do need your stuff can actually find you and know where to find you. That's at workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre all day.